The last major step of the weaving process is the sense wire. So I've got a completed board over here, and I've got the weaving fixture inserted and taped into the back side of the board that I'm going to demonstrate on here next. Just to go over where we're headed, this is the sense wire, and it's going diagonally and looping around, and it's doing all the diagonal paths. It ends up coming out here. So we're going to start on this main diagonal path, and then we're going to follow the numbering on the weaving fixture, the sense wire weaving fixture, and we'll end up here at position 15. So here's 1. I know you can't see it on the camera there, but this is position 1. There's a 2 over here, and what that means is you're going to just run the wire all the way through, and when you get here and you wonder which way to go, you're looking for the 2, so head towards the 2, wrap around this post to get a nice bend, and then head through this core, which takes you in this direction. You get to this one, this is 3. You wrap around the post, go to the next obvious core, and just follow that all the way to here. This is number 4. Loop around here, go back to the next post, and so on and so forth. And you just follow the numbers through. And what you'll see that taking shape here. What I just described is this diagonal, loops around, goes this direction, then back here, around, and down here. So what I did on the back side is I just taped in the weaving fixture. Just tape it at the corners. And then those posts protrude slightly up through the top at the edges where the sense wire needs to get wrapped around. So to start with, of course you've taken care of your sense wire and straightened it out more or less. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight, but most importantly free of any kinks or nicks or any sticky spots. And then you start position, this is labeled position 1 here on the weaving fixture. I'm just going to go right through the top of this core, top of the cross wires I mean. And then this process is just, it's not so bad. They thread pretty easily, and you just need to be mindful of the turns at the ends and not kink the wire as you pull things through. You don't have to go above the cross wires. I like to just keep things nice and neat and consistent, so that's what I try to do. So now that we're through, this is the longest stretch. We're just going to pull this wire through and through and through. You could start with this first one, you could feed it the other direction initially to save that step, but it's not that big a deal. So I'll just leave a little bit on the end here, and this is going to feed down into this S2 hole. Actually, I am going to, this is helpful, I'm going to put that down in the hole now. because that'll help provide just a little bit of tension, and it allows me to wrap around the end, around this post easily, while this doesn't pull through on me. So I just poked that through. It went through the tape on the back side that's actually holding things. Give that a little tug, wrap that around the back side, just bent back a little bit. And now when I pull on this, it resists the tension a little bit. Now, this far end of the wire that I just pulled through, I'm going to gently bring into position, and I'm going to go around this first post labeled right next to the 2. Get underneath that core and lift the core a little bit. It'll head over the top. So now, coming around the corner, I usually pick an overlap, so I'm going to say that every wire going in this direction is going to be on top, or every sense wrap, and then the sense wire paths that go in this direction will be all on the bottom. So I'm going over the top here to the next logical core, which is right here. Managed to bend the tip of the sense wire already. There, we got it straightened out. And then we're going to go around this post next. So the important thing here when you pull this one through is you want to keep a nice smooth path for the wire as it enters this core and tightens around this post. So I'm going to push, I'm holding the sense wire out a little bit from the edge of the core. I'm going to pull this. This one's pretty easy to do because as long as you keep the wire in the same plane, it's not wanting to kink or do anything weird. I'm just going to gently pull this until I get just a little bit of tension around this post, and then I'll just let it relax a little bit because it'll make it easier to take this fixture out when I'm done. I'm just going to push back a little. Make sure that this is not too tight. And there we go. Next one, wrapping around this post here. And that's going to take me back down the direction it came from. Trying to be mindful not to bend the wire, and also to keep it in the same bend plane, so keep everything flat instead of getting looped up and over. There we go. Let's do the first one. The second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. And the sixth one. And then it's going to be time to turn around and head another direction. There we go. that through, and I'm going to keep this wire in the same plane. I don't want things to twist and turn. I also, when I'm pulling this wire through, I want to make sure it's entering this core as straight as possible. I don't want to be coming in at an angle, because that will cause the wire to get all bent up. So keep pulling this nice and straight, kind of smoothing it with my fingers as it goes. And now I need to, this is twisted over on itself, so I'm just going to pull and rotate this. Try to get things to smooth out a little bit. There we go. And now, as this gets a little tighter, it gets hard to keep this straight, so that's what this little stylus is for. And I'll come in here and I'll just pull, and as I pull, that loop stays tight in there and nice and straight, like to the very end. And then it's going to go around this post again. And I can see I've got the wires bent a little bit as I did that. You just nudge it back into more or less a straight line. And there, that's two done. And this just, the wire continues to get shorter and you get closer to the end, and it gets a little bit easier every time you do it. So I'm going to turn this one around the corner. So that one's done there. And then we'll follow through another one of these. So again, here's the post. I'm wrapping around it to the next logical core, which is right adjacent to it. And then it's decision time. Do I go over the adjacent sense wire or under it? I'm going to always go over in this orientation. So up and over through the topmost part of the next core, up and over. Oh, the wire twisted on me. Try to help that get back into position as I pull this now. And then we'll get through this last one and then around the post. There we are. I think I can maybe cheat just a little bit here. If I go, since the post exits very tangent here, I'm going to see if I can just turn the corner right away instead of pulling the wire all the way through, and see if that post is going to straighten it out as I go. I can only do this on some of these posts. The other one, some are too sharp a turn. Okay, we're through. Ooh, there's definitely more tension on it doing it this way. Coming, final one on this stretch. There we go. Okay, through. And now I'm pulling all the way through here, keeping this wire flat as I do so, and actually going around that bend is having the effect of straightening out the wire, which is really nice. Oh, I can see it's getting some tension in it, or some curvature in it, but I think it'll be fine. Alright, back to keeping this straight as it goes through and flat against the board. You can see how it introduces some of those kinks and then they pass through. There's a lot of tension on this. This is kind of uncomfortable, putting so much tension on the wire. Just kind of help this around the corner. Comes out of here more or less straight. Goes in there, around, and that's it. So since the wire has curled up a bit, I'm going to straighten this out again. Okay. Once again, we're next to a post. We're going to wrap around the post and then head across in the other direction here. Now, I think after I get this through, this will be enough. Oh, and I'm going to go up and over that one, because I always go over in that direction. I think that gives you the idea of what's going on here, and it gets easier and easier as you go.